Reviewing for your 8.5 through 8.8 test tomorrow. All right, first of all, identify the slope and y-intercept of this equation. So let's write it in slope-intercept form first, or function form, either way. All right, so if we write it in slope-intercept form first, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Which term do we write first? Negative 3x or 18? Negative 3x. Then we divide everything by 6, and now we can clearly see that negative 1/2 is our slope, and 3 is our y-intercept. M equals negative 1/2, B equals 3. All right, now in the next slide, we need to write an equation of the line with a given slope and y-intercept. Plug them into slope-intercept form, and what's your equation? Y equals 2x minus 5. Very good. Okay, so that's your equation of a line. But now what if you're just given ordered pairs? Okay, so now you have ordered pairs, and now you have to write an equation, not and, but an equation of the line through the given points. Okay, so use the ordered pairs to find the slope. Negative 6 minus 9 over negative 3 minus 0. What's negative 6 minus 9? Negative 15 over negative 3. So what is that going to be? Positive 5. Yeah. So now y equals 5x, but how do I know my y-intercept? The ordered pair that has the 0. The other number is my y-intercept. So 5x plus 9. All right, so that's how I use it. Write an equation using slope. All right, now let's, whoops, wrong one. Now let's write an equation. I think of a parallel line. This is the one, next one. Yes, line that's parallel. Okay, so write an equation of the line that is parallel using this given information. Work to show really, guys. What do we know about the slopes of parallel lines?
They're the same.
They're the same. So y equals negative 4x, but what's my other y-intercept? Positive 3. How did I get positive 3? The ordered pair. The ordered pair tells me. All right, so now let's do perpendicular. If it's perpendicular, all right, now write the equation of the line that is perpendicular. Okay, so what do we know about the slopes of perpendicular lines?
That's opposite.
Negative reciprocal. Very good. Negative reciprocal. So y equals positive 4/3 x, and what's my y-intercept? Negative 3. Okay. All right, so that's perpendicular lines. Don't you wish that you could have a whole test just of those?
Yes.
All right.
Please.
Okay, now, here's where we get into our substitutions. You have two equations. Two equations here. Okay, here's what I want you to do. These are separate problems. Okay, so this is like, say, number 1, and then this one would be number 2. These are totally separate problems. Find h of x when x equals 3. Go ahead and start with that one. So we're going to make our substitutions. H of x equals negative 2 times 3 minus 2. And what did you get? Negative 8. Negative 8. Okay, so now look at number 2. Okay, because number 2 is a little more involved. It says find h of 3 and g of negative 2 and then add them together. So you're actually solving each one individually, and then you add their answers together. Okay, so h of negative 3, positive 3, where would I plug in the 3? Where would I plug it in? In for x. Where would I plug in the negative 2 of g? In for x. So you're going to solve them separately, get their answers, and then add their answers together. Okay, go ahead and try that. Okay, so, well, you're not even trying. All right, so h of 3. I plug in the 3 value again. Guess what, guys? You already solved this, -8. Now I take my -2 value, and I plug it in for g of x. We're not talking. All right, and I get -3. Now, because it says to add them together, I take my two answers, and I add them together to make -11. Okay, -11. So I basically just make my substitutions, I find my answers, and I add them together. What if there was a subtraction sign right here? What if there's, then you would just subtract your answers, and then it would be a double negative, and yeah. Okay, what if it was a multiplication? Then you would just multiply your answers, okay? So just get your answers, and then do the operation that connects them. All right, now, perpendicular, okay. So write a linear function that satisfies the given conditions. What do I do first? Ordered pairs. Ordered pairs. Make them ordered pairs. Once you have your ordered pairs, what do you do with those?
You do the
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Find your slope. Okay? Now your slope is supposed to be positive. Do not forget function notation, g of x. It's g values up here, so that's why I use g of x equals 13/4 x minus 4. Where did I get my -4 from? From the ordered pair up here, the 0, -4. Okay, that's where I got my ordered pair. Function notation. All right, now that we're through that, let's see what we have next. Oh, yes, graphing. Now, guys, graphing a function and graphing an equation is basically the exact same thing, except on function you see f of x, on an equation you see y equals. All right? They have to be in function form first, though, before you can graph. So go ahead and write this equation in function form. All right, so we write it in function form, and now, okay, where do I plot my first point? On the y-intercept, -2. Where do I go from there? Where do I go? Up 6 over 1, plot my point, draw my line. Done. Okay, so plot your point on the y-intercept, and then from that point, follow your slope. Okay, what if it had been negative? Where would I have gone? Down, but then still to the right, because we always run to the right. All right, linear systems. Graph the linear system. All right, so first things first, what do you have to do? Make them in function form. Right, so writing them both in function form. And immediately I can see that my y-intercepts are the same number. So that's going to make my graph very convenient. All right, so my y-intercepts are the same number, -5, but I do have to follow my slope so I can plot each line. All right, so I go down 1 over 2, plot that line, -1/2, and then I go up 2 over 1 for my other, and I plot my line, and I can clearly see that they cross at 0, -5. There is a solution. Some of you on your quizzes, you just wrote the graph, but then you didn't answer it. My answer is either an ordered pair, no solution, or infinite solutions. Tell me when it's going to be no solution. They never cross. They're parallel lines, which means they have the exact same slope. When will it be infinite solutions?
When they're all the same.
It's the exact same equation. Totally, the whole equation is the exact same. All right, if you understand that, that's everything you need to know for your test tomorrow. Yep.